What's up YouTube, Jeff back again, and today, more customization for your Galaxy S22 Ultra. Appreciate everybody watching the video. It's had a crazy March, tons of people watching my stuff, so I really appreciate that. Before we get started, as usual, quick case check, and I've actually got a video coming on this one. This is not the Monarch Kevlar that I started out with. This is a new limited edition olive color. You guys can probably see the greenish, dark green olive color right there for the Kevlar. I also have the black one, so I'm going to do a video comparing the two. Same price. It's available on Urban Armor Gear's website. I'll link it below if you guys are interested, as well as the black one. We also have the giveaway going on right now until the end of March. If you guys are interested in entering, win a flagship phone like a Galaxy S22 Ultra, $500 cash and other stuff. I'll drop the links below to that as well. Let's get started today talking some more S Pen. And I've already given you guys a lot of S Pen tips, but today I want to talk about things you can do with the S Pen aside from just taking notes. Because of course, taking notes is great and all, but some people say, well, I'm not really a note taker, so maybe the S Pen isn't for me. Well, this S Pen is a Bluetooth S Pen. It can do a lot of cool stuff that is not just taking notes. And so I'm going to talk about 5 things today that you can use the S Pen for that has nothing to do with taking notes. Maybe you're not a student, maybe you don't really need to take notes for work, and that's fine. The first thing is controlling the camera. So let's talk about that. You can first of all control all of these different air actions and things like that inside the advanced features. If you go to advanced features, go down to where it says S Pen, right up here at the top where it says Air Actions, you can change what happens inside each of the apps. So there's particular actions for the camera. Of course, if you want to hold down the pen button, you get to your camera. It's kind of a quick action. You can also have these kind of scribble actions up here at the top. And then inside the camera app itself, you can change what happens. So lots of different customizable actions. You can change them here. Each one, hover over it and just kind of change it. I kind of like the defaults for camera. Single press takes a picture. A double press will switch it from a regular camera to selfie camera. You can go to the next mode or previous mode, zoom in, decrease angle. This one's kind of tricky. I really am not the greatest at doing this one. You've got to make a loop. I'll show you guys some of them in just a second. There's also a lot of other things you can change, and we'll talk about that in a second. I'll talk more about air actions in just a second as well. So if you go in the camera app, the way this works, if you have your S Pen, air actions do take a little bit of time. You've got to hold the S Pen away from the device. You can't hold it really close to the device. And then you just want to do the action. So for the first one, you can just take a picture. Single press takes a picture, as you can see. Double press, it's going to change the angle. You guys can see me here. Not looking my best on a Saturday. And switch it back. And then if you want to go, for instance, to the next mode, you press the button, and then you perform the action and then release it. You guys see how I went over to portrait mode? Press the button, swipe over, release it. Press the button, swipe over, release it. Some people, when they use the air actions, they get too close. See, like I did just there. And if you get too close, then the air action won't work properly. So you really have to be careful when you're doing this, that you're away from the device and then swipe over and then do the action to make sure that everything's working out nicely. You have to make sure you hold the button again and then perform the action and then release. Otherwise, it's going to go directly into taking a video like I showed you right there. So a lot of cool things you do in the camera. This is great for taking shots where you just want to set up the camera and you want to be in the shot. You can press it to take a picture, use it to zoom in, all that kind of cool stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about next Bixby Vision. So Bixby Vision is a really cool feature, and it's something you can add to your Air Command menu. Of course, you can customize the Air Command menu completely. You guys can see I have Bixby Vision down here. What this allows you to do is if you see a product while you're scrolling the web, you can have Bixby Vision tell you more about it. So I'll show you guys really quick. Go into Chrome here on ESPN. Here's some nice Kerf wood cases. And one way I like to use Bixby Vision is, okay, I see these wooden cases from Kerf Case that are for the S22 Ultra. Maybe I want to find out some more wood cases. So what I'll do is just hover it over here. It'll take it, I can go to images. It'll show me similar images on the web, so I can actually see other phone cases that are wooden phone cases and maybe browse some other possible options. So this is nice, like if you're doing some product shopping and you want to compare things, it's really great for that. Bixby Vision isn't always an exact match, but if you want to see similar things, it does do a really good job of that. Now, the other thing you can do with it as well is if you hover over, again, like this, you can actually get all the text in the picture. So if there's a lot of text there, and you can see sometimes it does mess up the translation a little bit. You can see it didn't get the F, it made it a T. But it is very useful, I think, for product searching when you're kind of just browsing the web. And I really like Bixby Vision for that. It's something that the S Pen is actually incredibly useful for. Okay, so next, let's talk media controls. Now, this is one that you probably do know about if you use the Bluetooth functions of the S Pen. Something that I use all the time because, of course, I use my phone to listen to music. Even when I use a Bluetooth speaker, I'm using my phone actually as the music player, and it's casting to the speaker. So when I'm using Spotify, for instance, you can customize your media controls within the Air Actions command again. Single press is going to go ahead and play your music. Single press again, going to go ahead and pause your music. Double press, if you press it and double press it, goes to the next track, which is great. And again, you can customize all of these. If you go back into the, if we go back into the settings here, go back into settings, you can customize all of these things from in here. So if you go to the bottom in the media controls, you can customize what it does. Single, play pause, play next track, volume up, volume down, side to side, play previous track or play next track. And yes, this also works within YouTube, which is great because if you're watching your YouTube videos, you can easily use this to control that as well. It's really nice. I find it very, very nice to use the S Pen for controlling media in case my phone's charging, but I'm still listening to something on my speaker. I can use the S Pen to just double click to go to the next track or, change the volume, easy stuff like that. You can customize Air Actions for all these different apps. So you can see some of the other ones like Concepts, which is my note app, Expert Raw, which is Samsung's expert camera app. I'm going to talk more about that later. Office has a lot of really convenient ones. And then the next one I'm going to talk about is when you're browsing the internet. Navigation in Chrome, or of course Samsung Internet, whichever one you want to use. One of the ways I really like to use the S Pen is when I'm browsing the web. One thing this is very useful for is you can hover over, for instance, like a URL, and you can see the full URL. Something that you really can't do with your finger. You've actually got to highlight and tap it to kind of highlight the entire URL. That's very useful for that. But also you can use Air Actions just to go up and down the page like this, press the button, and scroll through the page without touching it. This can be really nice if you don't like accumulating fingerprints on your display, and you just want to navigate. Now you do again have to be careful, making sure you're not too far away. It does take some time to get used to, and doing it behind the camera, of course, sometimes can be tricky. You can also go forward or back with a single press of the button, just like I did right there, and then scroll through again by holding, swiping up, and then just letting it go, swiping up and letting it go. So I find browsing with Chrome very nice. The other thing, of course, that I showed you guys is if you use Chrome or Samsung Internet, you can turn on S Pen to text, and you can actually write things in here. So if you want to search Google, you can actually search by, I don't know, just say search for NBA. Right there, it'll show up in the browser, and you can just search for it by using your S Pen. So I find that very nice for using it. Sometimes I use that instead of typing if I'm tired of typing. I got finger fatigue. Using the S Pen is great for that as well. The last thing is something I've mentioned before, but I want to show it again. It's because it's so cool and it is relevant to a lot of people. You can use the S Pen to solve math equations if you need it for you're doing college or whatever, high school, and also schedule appointments in your calendar, which we talked about in a previous video. If you want to solve math equations, the app that you really want to download is this app right here, Microsoft Math Solver. And if you open that, I've got it saved as my Air Command favorites actually as well right there, because I am a math professor, so it's very useful for me for calculating things. You can just go ahead and draw an integral here, for instance. If you're doing some calculus, it'll set up the integral at the top. You can see it translated it. You go ahead and hit the go button, and it solves the integral, gives you a plot of everything. It's really awesome. Microsoft Equation Solver is absolutely an amazing app for those of you who are in school. And then the other thing is if you want to do something with your calendar, for instance, I showed this in the previous calendar video. If you're using the Samsung calendar, what you can do, let me swipe over, I showed this before, you can actually write on the calendar with your S Pen. So you can block out some times. You go up here to the top where it has the S Pen logo, block out some times, say, okay, we're going to Vegas here. We got a birthday here. We got to go to the grocery store. You can add these emojis as well. The S Pen doesn't really work with Google Calendar, but it works great with the Samsung calendar. So if you really like using your S Pen just to jot down notes, schedule things, which I find easier than typing, then you can do that as well. All right, so those are the 5 uses for the S Pen that really don't have too much to do with traditional note-taking, some other uses for it, the Bluetooth S Pen. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to check out my theme, I dropped the links below to things like the wallpaper, the widgets, all that kind of cool stuff, my icon pack, which is Vera Icon Pack. You guys can also check out some of my other customization videos on my channel. I've got a ton of them. Join the giveaway if you guys are interested as well. It's running through the end of March. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification icon for future videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.